everybody. I see there's chat happening in the chat, so I have a little bit of a headache today, so my brain is not high functioning at the moment. But we're gonna do some nice relaxing missions, right? And that'll be easy peasy, right? I think so. We're gonna hope so. So hope everybody is doing great out there. So hi, I'm your host, Little Redhead, here on Heart of a Hobbit, which is my stream here on the official Locho Twitch channel. So yeah, hello to all the folks there. Just right, Sandy says, hello all. I don't remember it is Tuesday until I see the notification for Heart of a Hobbit. Hashtag retired life. I like it. I tell you, during the Corona times when there was like nothing on my schedule for months at a time, it was lovely. Actually, I was pretty happy with that because I had a lot of responsibilities that had built up. So it was just like whoosh, clean slate. And yeah, I had no idea what day it was. Whoops. There we go. Yeah, it was great. I'm like, no idea what day it is. Don't matter. It doesn't matter. It was pretty neat. So let's see, I'm hanging out here by Wenda, and I was gonna do a little bit of task board stuff, but you know what? I think I'll just come back and do that later. No big deal. And I'll go ahead and grab my Hobbit gift. Bum-ba-bum. Hey, Casper. I got a Casper nearby. I don't think he's gonna come on stream. He tends to like to be nearby, but not on my lap or anything. Scoot you closer to me. Hi. He's almost in straight. There he is. You can see his little... Oh, there we go. He's right behind me now. Hi. Let's see if I can turn my camera a tiny bit so you can see him a little bit better. Well, that's all the tiny bit you get. It's good enough. He's been sitting behind me a lot more recently. Haven't you, buddy? Yes, you have. Which is great. Oh, and then I've got the cat cam on here because Kato was here, but then she got up. So as cats do. So you know what, we'll go ahead and we'll close the cat cam for now. But if she comes back, we are ready. So yes, Aaron Bard says hi. Uh-oh, Sandy says, my cats just discovered the fun of toilet paper. So now you have to figure out a way to keep them out of it. Yeah, a closed bathroom door. I remember those days. It's been a while since I've had to do that, but that was one of the options that we took, was just close the door when the cats were around. This is a long time ago. This was when thinking me and my mom, we would end up with cats, and then the cats would have kittens, and so we'd have kittens. We had kittens around the house for a while. So yeah, over a year old, and they just now figured it out. Well, that's nice. All right, so we're going to do missions. I'm going to run around with Affadil, which is B4's player on this character on this server. So I'm going to go to the Hall of Bernozal, which some of you might remember we were doing the Dwarven Allegiance Hall. And we were doing a bit of this on Treebeard because there's this whole allegiance system that they have. So let me actually pull up the allegiance thing. So under character, there's an allegiances tab. So that brings up this thingy bobber. Over on Treebeard, we are, Treebeard is a slow progression server, so we don't have access to everything. It's like each piece of the world is opening one small piece at a time. So we're like level 85, I think, capped over there right now. So we're in like Eastern Rohan or something. So none of these other allegiances are open to us. Like there's this whole Kingdom of Gondor, Hobbits of the Company, Durin's Folk, and Court of Laurelin. We don't have access to that yet because that's like, I don't know, 100, 120, somewhere in that range. And then there's also, hey baby, you can come over. This, which I don't even know what this is. Something about the heirs of Castamere and stuff. So that could be the new, oh, that's the new thing, the Kindred of the Coin. Oh, okay, this is the new thing with Umbar. So because we're here on Laurelin today, all this is popping up. But over on Treebeard, the only one we have access to is this Zelruka clan. And a cat on my lap. Hi, baby. This is Kato on my lap. I know I need a cat cam right here. I will. I'll get her up there eventually. Oh, she's fine right now, though. She's keeping me nice and warm. But yeah, at some point she'll get up, and we'll see if we can get her into the into the basket, and then we have a cat cam. Have the cat cam on the cat. Aaron Barnes says hi also. Anyway, so yeah, so we're, since we have familiarity with these missions, we're like, hey, let's just give this a go. So we've been working on these. Oh, gotta talk to Zova first. So this may look familiar if you've been following me in the stream before, because you have access to these missions starting at like level 20 or something. It's a lot of yeah, you have access to them pretty early on. Maybe level 50, but I think it was level 20. Anyway, so this is our mission wrapper, Zova here gives us this mission wrapper. So, and we have to do 5 missions here in Gundabad, and that will complete her requirement of giving us that wrapper. So then you run over here and you've got these 2 folks here. You've got Horan, who has some missions, and you've got Ozma, which you may have met previously in other situations, like in the war room. She's there. And so usually every day there's 8 missions, I believe, and they're divided up between these 2. Sometimes there'll be 5 on one and 3 on the other. Sometimes it's 4 and 4. Yesterday it was 0 and 8, I think, which was kind of crazy, or 6, something like that. Anyway, yeah. So we're gonna talk to Ozma, who has just 1 mission for me, and it is Captive Wings. So we're gonna just go ahead and hop on in here. And the reason we're doing it like this, where Affodil is going in first, and then I'm going in second, and following like that, because I'm, oh, okay, before I said 6. Okay, so 6 or 7 missions. Oh, Dame Hypatia says hi. Hi, Dame Hypatia. Good to see you too. Okay, so yesterday it was like Ozma had 0 and Horan had like 6. So anyway, so these 2 characters are 2 characters here on Laurelin. We used Valars and jumped them up. So I had a 140 Valar, and she had got a 130 Valar. Because we think the 140 may have ended up on Treebeard or something. Yeah, we couldn't find his 140. We know he has one, we just can't find it. So that was kind of funny. Anyway, so he ended up being 10 levels below me on Affodil. I'm like, I know I hit that guy. Okay, so there might be a tiny bit of lag. No worries. Anyway, so we're the idea, the premise of this whole experiment was that over here on Laurelin, we would go ahead and level our characters up to 150 so we could go in and do the delvings inside those missions where you can do delvings. Because not all missions allow you to do delvings, but some of them do. And so you have to be at the server cap, though. Your character has to be server cap level in order to do the delvings. You can do the missions, you can do the regular part of the mission, no problem, nobody cares. But to do the delving aspect of it, you have to be at server cap. Well, server cap on Treebeard is, what did I say, 85, I think? So we've been able to do delvings over there because we got ourselves up to level cap. Although the level is going up like December 7 or so, I think. It's coming soon. We got a double box there. Use it. I wonder if I should eat some food or something. Probably should. Looks like this is going to be a little difficult. I forgot this one is a little difficult. Alright. Okay, so we are like unprepared for this server. But it's where I do all my role playing, and so I really wanted to get as much of the goodies over here as I can, and Affodil is helping me out. So, yes, B4 has graciously agreed to help me out because doing this stuff by myself is a little harder, and anyway, it's more fun with friends, right? So let's see, Egg Arthur says, before the Shadow missions are the only ones currently offering delving. The Umbar missions are expected to have delvings, but won't drop 150 delving gear until the raid comes out. And so to be clear, no delvings will drop 150 delving gear until the raid comes out. And Cord clarified that on Friday. Yes, so they have it like staggered. The SSG is staggering the various parts of it. I think they've done this pretty much every time. That the idea with the delvings is to get you like raid quality gear. That's not why we're after it. We're just after it because it gives us a lot of legendary item reward track experience. So I'll show you how we're doing on that. But like, we already got a whole bunch just from doing these missions, so we're actually doing okay. As it turns out, doing the missions is also a good way to get lots of LI experience. So my current track is already up to 17. Now, we've been doing the delvings over on Treebeard, and I'm up to like 35, 50, I don't know, really far. Oh yeah, and she's at 30 already on this track here. And that's just doing not cap level stuff. Because her level, Aphrodite's level is lower than mine, she gets more experience than I do for the same level stuff. So she's catching up though. Because she was at 130 and I was at 140, and now she's at 141 and I'm at 145. So she's coming. She's pretty awesome. I do like that. I like how the stuff is slightly staggered like that. Anyway, so yeah, so SSG, yeah, Cord was saying that, like, their plan was previously, and they mentioned this previously, but it's been a while since he brought it up, something about how, yeah, that raid quality gear that you can get through the delvings is intended to drop, like, after people have been doing the raid and stuff, or whatever, so. It's not intended to give you the stuff to go do the raid. It's supposed to, like, give you an option to get the stuff without doing the raid, is the idea. Hey, just out of a side note, honey, there's somebody in World Chat who's asking about plugins. You might want to direct them to your stream here in a little bit. So after my stream, in case you are not aware, is before does his stream about plugins. And he calls his stream Plugging Along. And yeah, he'll be on like, you know, an hour or two from now. Because I usually go for about 2 hours, and then he comes on after me. So, yeah, before in the chat says, at this point, I'll accept any gear that's better than the 130 Valar stuff. To be fair, like the 130 Valar stuff, and for me the 140 Valar stuff, is pretty good. I've been pretty happy about it. Now I did go ahead and open a box of that Matham, you know, hang on, don't attack some yet. I ended up with like piles of these things. Rare Matham Hunter's armor, and then you click on it and it gives you like a piece of armor that's, you know, correct for you. And you can just, like, it's a selection box, so you can pick, you know, do you want the arms or the feet or whatever it is, all your different options. And so I did get one of those out at 145 now. I did go ahead and pick something out because it was, you know, 5 levels. There we go. Oh, okay. So we've got one coming because it got feared. There it comes. He fell down. I love using tripwire. Just be like, nope, you'll just hang out there for a minute. It's pretty awesome. So yeah, so we've been enjoying the delvings over on Treebeard. And that has gotten us a lot of legendary item track experience really fast. Whereas here we're just doing regular missions, which still gives us good LI experience, but it's not quite as fast as the delvings. Are you bringing them out? No? Okay. That's fine. Okay. Yeah, this room is a little tough because there's a lot of mobs in here, and it's a little tough to take stuff out without having, like, getting overwhelmed with what all's here. So Aaronbar was just asking, what were those horses about that happened over my head? I am currently earning experience for my war steed. So when you're like when you get a war steed and you are running around in Rohan, because that's where you get your war steed usually, your war steed gains experience as you go. And then as your war steed gains experience, it has like its own kind of trait tree, and you can put points in different things, just like your own trait tree, but you know, related to its war steed effectiveness. Yeah, so as you level up, it does the little horses over your head, and it's super cute. I'll try to pay attention next time it does that. Point it out on screen in case anybody missed it. So we're in here rescuing these bats that are in these cages, like this guy, he's in a cage. And we're trying to rescue him before he gets turned into, like, you know, a bad bat. And then there's all sorts of, you know, bad guys running around we gotta deal with in here. Big Arthur says you get more mounted XP when you're actually mounted when the mob is defeated. Not really an option indoors, of course. Yes. That's a good point. If you really want to, like, max out your war steed experience, you would want to be mounted on a war steed. Mind you, not just any old mount, but an actual war steed mount. Nice. In order to get that, like, the mega bonus. But, like, yeah, and not too worried. In fact, it's really funny because it'll say in the chat, yes, oh yeah, P4's got an example there, you know, you've earned 18,000 war steed experience. You would have earned 60,000 if you had been mounted. I feel like it's like scolding me or something. I'm like, yeah, whatever, dude. Quit griping at me. I'm fine. Fine with the war steed experience I got. It's kind of funny. So yeah, then my war steed panel is not there. Probably easiest to show you. How do I bring up my war steed panel without being on a war steed? I don't know actually how to do that. Is there a shift what? M is in mount. Oh, look at that. Shift M for mount. Okay, so this is what the war steed panel looks like. Yes, I have named it Pard because that means horse in Dutch. It currently is a level 40 war steed. You can rename it, and this is like my current track of experience. You can change the appearance, so like all those things that where it's like talking about, whoop, bye, dropping a war steed cosmetic. It just goes into, like, the war steed has its own wardrobe basically, and you can change your war steed's cosmetic look using the things in your war steed wardrobe, so that's kind of fun. And then here's like my trait panel for my war steed. So I have spent 42 points, but I have yet another 20 points available because it keeps leveling up and I keep forgetting to come in here and add the points where they want to go. So, oh, we are done with that one. We're gonna hop out. So I'm not really like reading what we're doing in here. I apologize. If you wanted to know more, I'm probably not gonna read the things out loud today, just because of the headache thing. Never underestimate the enemy. Okay, so so I was gonna say we're going in where Affadil goes in first because Affadil is level 141, and so if Affadil travels first, then all the bad guys are also level 141. If I travel first, they're 145, my level. So it's easier for us to do things at the lower level for now. She's getting like 100% experience because they're her level, or whatever it is. Like, we'll just say 100. And I would be getting like 95% experience or whatever. Like, those aren't the actual numbers, but just examples. So yeah, so the idea being that yes, Affadil's getting, you know, full experience, and I'm getting full minus a smidge. Oh, okay, cool. Because we're doing it at her level. If we were doing it at my level, I would get 100% experience. She would get 100 plus, 5% or whatever, which in itself is fine, but it just takes us longer because they're higher level. I was like, where's the sarcophagus? There it is. In this, you have to attack the sarcophagus or sarcophagi, as there are more than one in this dungeon. And until the sarcophagus is gone, it will continue to sprout these those dwarves, the dead dwarves. And then once you defeat the dead dwarves, you get a fell spirit, and then it's done. So you want to get rid of the sarcophagus as soon as you can, otherwise you're going to keep getting more and more dwarves. And then that just takes you a while. Because you don't really get anything for the dwarves, like mission-wise. Because the object is destroy the sarcophagi and burn the remains of the fallen Angmar. So there's nothing about, like, defeat 50 dwarves or anything like that. It's like, no, they don't care. So it's the sarcophagus that's the important thing for us. So I'm going to hit it. All right, so let's see. Yes, Bim's Kala says, yeah, I always forget to add points. I know, right? It gets to some point, and I'm like, I'm getting, it'll say in, like, my chat or something, you've got points. I'm like, oh, yeah, points. There's that. I should do something about that. Aaron Bard says, Pard is also a medieval creature with one A. Where are you at? Oh, I went past. Did I go past you? Oh, there's an worm dude up here. Oh, and a dwarf fight. Blah. I don't want to talk to you. Pard is also a medieval creature, you say? Crossed with a lion is how we got the leopard. Oh, Leo and Pard. Leopard. Cute. Alright, let me burn this necromancer. I'm going to take a drink of some ginger tea. So, with my headache, one of the Scooby-Doos you can do, because I get cluster headaches where they come in clusters, hence the name. Although it hasn't been too bad recently, so this one just kind of came on quickly on its own. Anyway, so one of the strategies that works on my headaches is to use caffeine. Sometimes that's effective against my headaches. So I was drinking a Dr. Pepper, which was lovely, and I think my head is feeling a little better actually. However, my stomach was like, I'm sorry, what did you just give me? Like, oh, well, so let me tell you. Yeah, so I'm having now some ginger tea to counteract the effects of the, the caffeinated drink. Bim Scala asks, does screen time impact your headaches? Yes, it does. I have also heard fever few tea can be useful. I don't know what's in that tea. Oh, there goes my little partners, my little horses. That's cool. What's in fever few tea? Look at that. Yes, Aaron Bard says migraine sounds migraine-ish. It is. They're basically like clusters of mini migraines. So not like full on migraine. But I definitely noticed the difference between darker rooms and brighter rooms. Like, it's definitely very acute at the moment, and sound. So today was unfortunately a busy day, which is why it's still around, I think. I had an appointment at the chiropractor, and that was good. And she was able to actually kind of relieve a little bit of the pressure that I was having. Kind of help us straighten things out a little bit in my head, as it were, or my neck. Anyway, well, hang on. I'm like dying to this doofus. Let me see what I can do about him. Go away, fell spirit. I've been talking to you. Unless the fell spirit happens to be in the chat, in which case I guess I was talking to you. Okay. Let's get back. Oh yeah, and then there was a meeting today for all the volunteers. So it's so funny, I have to stop and think sometimes, because when I'm doing something here in the Netherlands, because I live in the Netherlands now, and when I'm doing something here in the Netherlands, if it's something that I know because of it being something connected to Dutch stuff, like I know, like today it wasn't a volunteer meeting, it was a vrijwilligers, bijeenkomst, because it's a Dutch place that I'm volunteering at, so of course everything is in Dutch. So it throws me off when I'm like having to remember how to tell you what it is in English. I'm like, I was at a vrijwilligers bijeenkomst, and I'm like, you won't know what that means. So yes, I was out at volunteering today, and it was lovely, but it was a room full of people, and there was talking, and the sound bouncing off the walls, you know, as it is when you have a room full of people. So that didn't exactly help. It didn't make it any worse, but it didn't have much of an opportunity to get a lot better. So, that's okay. Oh, I see. Vim Scala put a link into the chat. Thanks for trying. But I can see the link because I'm an admin, so I can see your link, so I'll be able to follow that. Thank you. It is mountsinai.org. Health library, something about the tea. Cool. I'll take a look at that as well. Sandy says, yeah, caffeine helps my headaches. Yeah, and I've had these, let's say since the early 90s. So it's not a new thing I'm dealing with. And sometimes it gets better, and sometimes it's worse. It's generally been better recently, to be quite honest, which is fantastic. I'm very happy about that. And usually I don't get so much of a cluster anymore, or not.
There is much to
I
be
shouldn't say
done
that.
and little time
I do
for
still get the
talk.
cluster. It's just not like as obvious.
We have come too far to turn back now.
I don't notice it as much. So which means they're like from a pain scale of, let's say, like 0 to 10, where like 7, 8, 9 is where you basically are incapable of talking, thinking, driving, you know, cognitive functions. I, in general, just run on like a 1, 2, 3. So, what was it I was doing? There was something. Oh yeah, don't kill all the way, right? We want to bring it over here. Oh, there was some other thing I was dealing with, and they were like, you know, how is your pain with the procedure they had done? And I was like, it's like a 1, 2, or 3. It's like, you know, early on. And I'm like, so that's not bad. I'm fine with that. When it starts to get to 4, 5, 6, I'm like, that starts to interfere with things. So like today's been like a 6. Maybe a 5 now, maybe a 4 now, which is nice. But it does mean that I have spikes where my brain stops working for a second. So it is. It's fine. It's fine. So yeah, Aaron Bart says, you used to get those when you had Tylenol to treat them. Stop that and they went away. Hi, babies. I use Advil. That is generally effective. I did take 2 Advil earlier. But it's not complete. Oops, I killed it before the thing. Oh, sorry, I forgot to let it get over there. We didn't get our ice crystal. Sneeuw. That's the word for snow in Dutch. Sneeuw. Isn't that a great word? Sneeuw. Yeah, I was trying to wave at it. See if it got my get its attention. So Sandy says, yeah, feverfew is a plant from Asia. Cool. Well, I'm closer to Asia here than y'all are in the U.S., so maybe. Come here, Grim. Do you want me to get its attention? Okay. Oh, okay. I could put a trap down over here. I guess that's not going to help. You're almost dead, though, honey. Okay. Invalid target. Here, I'll shoot at that one. I'll get it to come over. And then just come join me over here. Whee! Come and get me. No, no, no. No shooting. Go off the... Oh, there it is. I pushed the wrong button for the auto. Come here, icy thing. He doesn't want to come over here. Aaron Bard says, do the constant battle shouts bother you? I get extra strength acid and vitamin C now. Oh, nice. Oh, I'm almost dead. That's a disappointment. And I'll go into the other stance and shoot things. Every so often she tries to get out of battle, out of combat, and just lays down. It's kind of funny. The constant battle shots, I have it turned down pretty far on my computer, the output, so I'm not hearing it. So that's no big deal. Alright, probably should just follow you. Ben Scott says, I had a nephew that got migraines. That and caffeine seemed to help, especially if he did it the very first sign of a headache. Yes. And that used to be what I had to do when I used to suffer from them more regularly. If I did caffeine when I felt the onset, yes, that would make a huge difference. The problem I discovered in my early to mid-20s was that I was having issues with the caffeine. It was causing different problems. I was getting basically pain in my chest, which isn't a phrase that, you know, you really want to have in your life. So I cut back on the caffeine and started coming up with other, you know, potential ways to manage the pain. But like I said, it's been really good lately. Like, I think in the time that I've been streaming, which is, what, 2 years now? I think I've only had like 2 on-stream days even, which that ain't bad. Oh, your Grim's almost dead. Oh, okay. I was gonna say, can you heal it? Can you heal your Grim? But yeah, the caffeine thing does actually make a difference. I've started drinking coffee again recently because one of the things about the volunteering that I'm doing is it's hanging out and talking and having coffee with people generally. And so I like coffee, so I'll tend to drink one while I'm there. And I mean, it's small ones. It's like European coffee. But I've gotten used to having coffee again, and so the caffeine... I think the caffeine in the coffee is different here anyway. I don't think, like, I think in the US they just add a lot of caffeine. So coffee just has a lot of extra caffeine in it that you don't have here. So there's also that. So I don't think I'm getting as much caffeine in a cup of coffee, which is fine. So yeah, so when I got home, I did have a coffee while I was at the volunteer meeting. And then when I came home, I was like, well, I'll have a Dr. Pepper and see if that helps. Oh yeah, are we killing these? Okay. I have been hesitant to take them out. All right, we need to collect 3 more ice. So what we're doing here is these frost grims, if you take them to a particular spot, like where there's that little vent in the ground, they will end up creating a little ice shard, and we are trying to collect those ice shards. So what you have to do is you have to... Oh, we want to keep this one? Okay, let me stop shooting it. Oh, hey, it's a little sparkle spot. So we wanted to get that Grim that I just took out to come over here and be over the sparkle spot, and then an ice shard would appear, and then we harvest the ice shard, and that's what we want to do in this instance. So let's see if we can get this one to go over to this sparkle spot. Bim Scala says, last thing I will say on it, being someone who works on software all day, something that helps eye strain is if you can gaze at very distant horizons from time to time. Nice. Sounds weird, but works to make your eyes relax or something. Yeah, I can believe that. I do notice that my eyes kind of like go out of focus, basically, as part of my brain's or my head's coping strategy. When it was hurting pretty bad earlier, and that's what I was doing. But like, I don't do it, it does it kind of just automatically. Maybe, like I said, it's a coping strategy, so I'm used to that. But it's doing better now. But I will say, once I'm done streaming, I will probably go into, you know, I'll probably get off of the computer and stuff. Although I don't know. I mean, if, like I said, if I'm not staring at things too hard, it's not bad right now. It's really not bad. It's definitely gone down quite a bit, which is nice. But I will look forward to sleep tonight. I think part of what's going on is that I think I pulled a muscle like in my neck, shoulder, back, that space, and I'm having trouble sleeping on it, and I think that and my head just couldn't get. Anyway, I think it was just like a whole combination of factors, and it like gave me a headache. So this may be a one-off, which is way better than a. This one is, there's a frost grim here. I'm not sure that's not on. There we go. Oh, do we not need it, or we do need it? I'm not killing it. Hey. Hey. Oh, there we go. I got some ice. I will chop it down. Yay, mission complete. Oh, you're down. Aw. Wait, does that mean you're at the entrance?
Yep.
Oh, I'll come to where you are then.
Yeah, there's around the corner, or you can just leave. You can pick up the chest.
I guess I'll just leave. You got the chest already, right?
No,
Oh.
died.
Oh, that's what I was asking, if you came in where the chest was, or where the dwarf is.
They came in the door.
Oh, I don't know where the dwarf is.
The dwarf is around the corner from where you were.
He's around the corner from where I am. Like, look at my map to the...
Around the corner from north.
Go that way. Okay. I'm gonna see if I can go find the dwarf. Whee! Okay, so over this way. Ah, cool. The mission reward box, there's... Oh, I can't do that in combat. Okay, fine. Come here. Where are you? You who are in combat with me. Come here. The mission reward is, in some of the missions, they just automatically award it to you, and in some of the missions, you have to go pick it up out of the box. Yeah, I think this will be fine. Okay, cool. Now I'm not in combat. I like the ones where they just automatically award it to you, then you don't have to find the box. There we go. But enough about me and my head. How are you all doing today? It's getting
Only a
colder
drought
here.
shows
Is it getting colder
mercy
where
in
you
battle.
are? Ooh, I finished a weekly mission wrapper. We're gonna take the character boosts. Cool. Alright, and then Servants of Frokar. Okay.
We've come too far to turn back now.
Sweet. And so you'll notice on my screen it shows up twice. Once up here and then once down here. Because we're doing this as a duo, for some reason it shows up here that I have that as a quest, but the way to get actually into it is this one down here at the bottom. It does that on some of the mission hubs, but not all of them. We don't know why it's different, but so just be aware that if you're having trouble getting in where it's like you already have a thing going, it's because it wants you to click on the one at the bottom. It's like, I don't know, it's annoying. Okay, so we have a nameless shrine. I have to destroy 10 of those, and I have to defeat 10 servants. Oh, maybe there was a guy here. I'm just gonna trip him and run back. That's what we do. And then I switch to fighty stance. Oh, I didn't tell you all about the mouse. And I don't mean the one connected to my computer. So we have a door on the wall that the cats can use to go in and out of the house. And then once they get out, they have like a path that they can be in. It's an enclosed walk space for them. So they're walking on the grass and whatnot there. Okay, so they can't get out and roam freely, and other things can't get in to them and cause a fight or anything like that, right? So they're pretty safe. They're not going to go get hit by a car. They're not going to get into a fight with another animal. Another animal's not going to attack them. So I like this. It works out pretty good. The only thing is, it's like chicken wire. It's thicker than chicken wire, and it's more of a mesh, than the hexagon style. But aside from that, it's basically the same idea. So little things can get through. Bugs can fly through, of course, and whatnot. We have a water area nearby, like a little river style idea. I don't know why it's like, I'm not sure if it's lagging or what was going on there. That was weird. Maybe it was part of the effect. Anyway, so there's frogs nearby. So over the summertime through the fall, we've had various small frogs, like about this big, that Kato has gone out because she's apparently a very good hunter, and they will hop through her space, and she will catch a frog and then bring it into the house, and we're like, no thank you, but well, then I say, honey, there's a frog in the house, and he goes, do you want me to catch it? And I say yes, and then he goes and he grabs stuff and he catches it and takes it outside because he's pretty awesome like that. Which I appreciate his frog capturing skills from the treats that she brings in. So yeah, so we've gotten used to over the summer, she comes in, she brings a frog, we capture it and send it back out. Okay, so this routine we've kind of gotten used to. Well, so she comes in day before yesterday, and she's doing that thing where she's like, she didn't just come in, she's like over there, and there's something going on. Like there's scuffling, there's noise, it's out of the norm. I'm like, okay, is this frog time? So I look over, and she is, I think, under the table, and I'm looking, and realize she has a mouse, like a live mouse that she's brought in this time. And I don't hate mice, but I'm not necessarily a fan because they're a wild critter, and they can have diseases, and they can poop everywhere, and I'm not a fan. They're also harder to catch because they have this amazing ability, if you don't know this, where their bones it's more of a suggestion, the structure that they hold as a creature. So if they can get their head through, because that's like the most solid part of their body, their skull, if they can fit their itty bitty skull, which is very small, through a space, then they can make the rest of their body get through it. Which means they're very hard to catch because they can go into any tiny little crevice, behind a bookshelf, between books. Like, they're really good at that sort of thing. So I know that we've got to catch this thing. We've got to catch it quick before she eats it. Yeah, I am talking about you. Or it gets away from us, and who knows where it'll be from then on, right? So, yeah, so we're chasing her around the house, and she's got the mouse, and then she sets it down and plays with it, and then she picks it up and runs around the house with it. Thankfully, she stayed on this level. Like, she didn't run upstairs. But yes, eventually she did lose track of it, and it went behind a bookshelf. Actually, let's see. So do you see this shelf back here with the TARDIS on it? And those are bags full of yarn. And then there's other stuff of a similar nature as you go down the bookshelf behind the couch there. So thankfully that bookshelf is very easily movable because that's where the mouse went, is underneath and behind that particular bookshelf. So Kat was on vigil, watching, waiting for it to come back out. And then it went behind this bookshelf, which goes much further up than you can see on the screen there. It is a proper full-size bookshelf. And no, that bookshelf is not very easily movable. So we lost the mouse. Yeah, Sandy says, oh no, that is worse. Yes, mouse is worse than frog. I eventually went to bed. He went to bed.
There's much to be
he's
done
been
and little
up
time for
earlier
thought.
and bed earlier. Hey, congratulations. So he went to bed, and I stayed up just to see if perhaps it would come back out. Kato was like there waiting for it. Hi, this is Casper again. She was just waiting and waiting to see if it would come out, just staring at the spot, which was, I thought, pretty funny.
Games, I allow for chance. I take
did
no
not
such risk in
Come
war.
out overnight, but she found a place to sleep nearby, and she just slept like staring at the corner, because I had moved this bookshelf, the short one, out, and so she could sit, she just sat there staring at it. It was really funny. The next morning I got up, she's still laying there. No, I guess she did come back over and lay down on my bed, but like any small movement, her ears twitched. It was really funny. Yeah, so later in the day, this would have been yesterday, I fed the cats some tuna and on plates. And I thought, mice love things that have a strong smell. There's stuff coming up the road here, honey. Oh, okay, you were trying to drag it off? Oh, okay. So I put the plates, I left them on the floor, and I put one of them not too far from where the mouse had disappeared, between the bookshelf and on the wall there. So, and then we were doing things. And he was off at a thing, and so then I heard some noise, and I'm like, huh. So I checked, and sure enough, she's running around with that mouse again. So the mouse did come out, assuming it's not a different mouse. So I managed to follow her and figure. And anyway, so she had the mouse out and she was playing with it. She didn't eat it, which I think I'm happy about that. And then I went and found like a large dish out of the kitchen. And it was like, she was far enough away from it, and the mouse was just standing there, not moving, maybe trying to do that whole, if I don't move, maybe she won't hurt me thing. I don't know. So I grabbed a large dish from the kitchen and came in and like put it on top of the mouse. So it was just sitting there. And then I was like, I don't have a plan. So I left it until he got home. So he gets home and I'm like, so found the mouse. It's still where I left it. I was being so squeamish about it. Yeah, and the thing is though, when I put, raise a banner. Oh, okay. When I went to put the kitchen dish over it, it was like a baking pan. It was no longer sitting up, it was laying down. Like, yeah, that's not a usual mouse, situation. So it is possible that she managed to kill it. We weren't 100% sure, but when he came home, we got a large piece of cardboard, and he slid that under there and then took it out. And there was no movement at all by the mouse. So we actually just We put it in the trash. Because we think it's probably dead. And if it's not dead, then it'll have a really lovely, you know, feast somewhere. Alright. What do you think? Shoot it and then run away?
No, just let it come here.
Okay. Aaron Bard says sometimes shock can do them in after the fact. That's possible because I am certain it was well shocked. Yeah. I can't imagine what it went through because it basically spent, if it's the same mouse, which it probably was, it basically spent an entire night hiding behind the bookshelf, which means it didn't eat for a full 36 hours, probably. And I don't know how long a little bitty critter like that can go without eating, but I can't imagine that it's like many days. I mean, they're teeny tiny. Yeah, Sandy says died from fright, maybe. Yeah, exactly. Right? Alright, I'll grab this one. Don't hit the moon. Okay. This is a routine that we do, whereas where Affodil will mark, if we have multiples that we're attacking, we'll mark one with a moon, like that one has over its head right now. And so she'll start with a fear, with a minstrel fearing, and then if it's still up when it comes back and we're still interacting with the other things, then I'll fear it with my bard's arrow. So we kind of have like this routine where we do that. So in this case I did an area effect, so that brought them both around. But thankfully Affodil didn't start with a fear. So it turned out okay. Cool. So if you see the little icons over their heads, that's what we're doing. Moobot has posted the schedule there in case you are ever curious who is on and when. It also has like a social media link for each of us. So most of the streamers here, I think, do some sort of social media where they'll, you know, let people know when and where their next stream is. Like I do, as Sandy pointed out earlier. Yeah, and it was late because I was at that volunteer meeting, so my post didn't go out onto social media until... Normally I do it about 2 hours before I did it. So if you are timing your meals by my social media posts, I apologize for that. You gonna come up? Do you want to come lay down? You want to come lay down in your basket? Put you on stream. Yeah. Come here. Come here. Hey, you. Yeah. Hi. Come sit in your basket. Yeah. Come on in. Your public awaits. She's like, what? There you go. Silly girl. Hi. Oh, I'm being too friendly with her. She wants to come sit in my lap. She actually really likes sitting in my lap. I have a blanket. When I put a blanket over my lap, she'll come and lay down in my lap. It's really cute. Yep, that's where she's going. All right, maybe someday we'll get a camera straight down. You can tell the weather's gotten colder because the cats are surrounding and hanging out with us. Like this guy. Hi. Yeah. Casper's been sleeping with us most nights lately. Yes, you have, haven't you? It's really cute, too. He flops right up against one of our legs because I think that's where the heat is, you know. It would make sense. She's kneading my leg. So, yeah. Oh, should I go ahead and... No, that's a moon. Should I go ahead and hit this other guy? Okay. Hey, enough with the claw. Thank you. She'll do this thing in a second where she'll just basically flop herself over. Sandy says, yeah, getting colder here. Usually a cat on my feet. Oh, that's nice. Yeah, I'm short, and my feet really don't reach the ground very well in most chairs. So I tend to put my feet up in my lap, which is not good for my hips, which is where I'm having a lot of problems with. Yeah, both the chiropractor and physiotherapist are like, you really shouldn't do that. I'm trying to get better about it, and I have like, you know, a footstool, and I sometimes put my legs out differently and stuff. Really, I just need to get up and walk around more often too. Like that's the other thing. Is it's not as big of a problem if I get up on a regular basis. Oh, I leveled. Whoosh. Nice. Yay. Let's see. Oh, hey. Oh. Hold on, need to filter these. I thought it was Control F. No, it must be Alt F. Yeah, oh, that's not it. Wait, how do you filter? I thought it was Alt F. That ain't it. Oops. Okay, hang on. Filters. Alt R. Of course, for filter. Sure. Yes, let's put this in here. Cool. We don't need to capture any more of those. I probably have a black steel key somewhere though, so I can at least one of them. Yeah, that'll do. I know my inventory is really sad right at the moment. We're gonna decline all of these things. Thank you very much. Okay, cool. And then I'll reforge my things here in a minute. But we can do this first. Cool. I had a feeling that I was gonna level, because we were getting really close to the end of my bar there. And I still have VIP. Oh, that was convenient. They were linked, but we took them out, I guess. So I have what would normally be called blue bar on my UI. It's green. But I have extra experience every day that I... There we go. Yeah, it's like double experience or something like that. You get like a little extra that as you're earning experience, you're earning bonus experience at that same time. And so it's nice to run through all of that, because the next day it resets and you get, you know, the X amount, but not X amount plus whatever you didn't use. It's just X amount. So yes, you could tell the weather got cooler because the cats have been very much like by us. Should I search, or do you know where it is? I have a kitty cat on my lap. I'll put a couple of traps down. And I'll go invisible. And then I'll scream. And then I'll floop, whatever that one is. Improved focus. I'll look at it really hard. And then I will seek its heart. Bam. It goes nicely. I do enjoy putting that little routine together on a hunter, because it does seem to do some nice damage. Let's see if I can find it. Let's see. Well, going reverse order, I did 217 damage, 521, 2,400, 4,100, 230, 516, 507, 5,700, 2,600. That's not the one I started with, though. Hang on. Dag Tark. Oh, yeah, there we go. With all of those things, the camouflage, then burn hot, then improved focus, and then heart seeker, it was 53,594. So like 53,500. So that's nice. So that's nice. That's a nice little routine. Makes it easier to take them down faster, which is awesome.
In games, I allow for
I must be
chance.
feeling better. I could do that.
I take no such risk in war. We have
Oh,
come
right. I
too
want
far
to
turn back
reforge
now.
my stuff real quick. All right, so reforge. Yes, thank you very much. And reforge. Thank you very much. So does that give me anything new? I'm thinking no, right? No extra spots. Oh, it would have told me if it had. Right, if it opened up any more spots. And I think I've got all of the slots maxed out with the range stuff. They must have just improved their abilities, right? Oops, that's the wrong button. Hello. You know, I still haven't figured out what my winter outfit is with this character. I haven't spent any more time on it recently, though, to be honest. So, I will probably, when the Yule Festival starts, which it starts in not too long, it's like... Wait, did I pick up the quest? Hang on a second. Yes, I did. See, okay, there it says, you already have an instance in progress. You will not be allowed to enter a new one. So if you do that, you know it's at the bottom. You gotta pick up the one at the bottom. So Yule Festival is... What is today? Today is like the 21st. Today's the 21st, because Thanksgiving is this week. Oh, this is the one where there's a... It's a riddle and stuff. We haven't done the landscape stuff that applies to these riddles. So this is where the wiki is really handy. Okay, I'm going to come look at this door. It looks like a door. It lights up when you get close. I think if I look at it, it says things. It's a riddle inscription, number 74. Oh, this is like the Inn of the Forsaken. Is that right? I am an auction. Yeah. Okay. It's a bunch of words. Action of luck. Yeah. Offbeat Paladin says, I have a parrot. He isn't the biggest fan of winter weather. Oh, yeah. Oh, I haven't really thought about it. Like, are all birds not fans of the cold weather, though? Because they have teeny tiny little bodies. So I just wonder, is that like a parrot? Are parrots more annoyed with the weather, or is it pretty much like all birds are kind of unhappy? I am the deathless, say my name. I don't know. What's up, Dame Hypatia? It's faster to log in and log out and in again than changing the character. Oh, are you having trouble with alting characters? I've noticed there's, well, on my like mega completionist characters where I have so many deeds that I've done, it takes a long time to log them out. I'm just trying to see if I can get on top of this thing. Can I get on a mount? Nope, no mounts are allowed here. Sundragrot. Cool. Nope, apparently not. Okay. No. Oh, still can't get up there. Still can't get up there. Hey, I need my arm for a minute, baby. The cat climbs up on my lap, and it's really cute, but she puts her head on my arm as a pillow. So I'm like, I'm, doing stuff and whatever, and I'm moving this hand around, but she's like got her head like laying up on like across my arm. I'm like, yeah, but I'd kind of like to use that arm from time to time, and she is not as amenable to that as I would like her to be. Anyway, so let's see. What are the newest things? Oh, are we supposed to go out? You successfully opened the vault. You being you, not me. Thank you. I appreciate your diligence to our cause here. All right, let's get rid of these pilferers. You shall not pilfer. Oh, there's more. But wait, there's more. Yeah, I can tell I still have a little bit of a headache, one because of the talking thing, but also my eyes want to, I call fuzzy. I want to fuzzy things. I don't want to look at something too carefully. I just want to look at it with a fuzzy eye. That's all I can tell. I'm still a little bit headache. I'll probably do better tomorrow. And I think I have a quieter day tomorrow, which is good because I have some things I really need to take care of tomorrow. So I think I have a quieter day tomorrow, which will be great. So I'll be able to rest my head if it's still bothering me. Yay! The Rock and his pilferers have been defeated. Grab goodies. Oops. You already grabbed the goodies. Thank you. Hello, Scout. For the crafters among you, because I see Dame Hypatia is here, and I know Sandy's here. I'm working on a cardigan, and I'm knitting it.
Gundabad shall be ours
And
at last.
I'm slow at knitting, slower than crocheting. I crocheted a couple of lap blankets, lap size, like baby blanket size blankets the other week. Like in 2 weeks I did like 3 of them, but that was crochet, so that was easier. Excuse me, easier for me, I should say. And it was just, I found some nice repeating stitches. The first one was, I had to pay a lot of attention to, and it wasn't what I wanted. I just wanted something where I could like just do the same thing over and over again and not have to think
Put
really.
your back
So the
to
second
the
one and the third
past
one
and to
were
the
like
wind.
super easy repeating patterns. So that was fun. So now I'm back to my, oh, look at that, your little crisscross swords, that's neat. So now I'm back to, oh, I got it too. Zoom. That means I probably went up a level in this allegiance. Let me check here. Character, allegiances. Yep, here's 9. We'll claim that. So, boom. Oh, not that. I just did 9. Allegiance level 9. So now we are currently skipping there's a storyline that we could be doing with Prince Ingor. We, have been kind of skipping that at the moment. We'll come back to that at some point. Not gonna worry about that yet on these characters though. Before it says, I think in the Netherlands a cardigan is called an auto gun. Not a car, it's an auto. Auto. It's not even a car, it's an auto. Not an auto, it's an auto. Yeah, it's a different vowel sound, which it's kind of funny. I think in the Netherlands a car is called a bicycle, which would be a fiets. Okay, so we should go do more missions somewhere.
Sure.
I can take us to, why don't I take us to Hearn? Hearn.
Or Bridge.
Oh yeah, okay, hang on. We'll go Trestle Bridge, that's fine. Yeah, we get our assistant if we go to Trestle Bridge. That's always nice. Okay, that works. Dame Hypatia says, I just finished a pair of 3-finger gloves a la Mr. Spock. Oh, clever. With a buttonhole on the inside for the index finger to go through to be able to use cell phones while continuing wearing gloves. Oh, that's clever. Do you know, I was watching Retro Claude. Have you seen her? I really like her stuff. I started watching her actually because she's trying to do a stash busting. But she has like health issues that arrived, that became a part of her life. Ooh, somewhere in the last like 5 years, probably, and possibly even like during Corona is when it happened. At any rate, so it's changed like how often she can knit and things like that. But she really likes doing kind of more retro style of things, and so like some 1950s cardigans or 1930s or 1800s, or like she's got all sorts of really cool stuff that she works in. She also works in theater, so she's got some of that going on too. Anyway, she knitted a pair of gloves, and that just looks to me like magic still. I have no idea how to knit gloves, right? But as the weather's getting colder, I have a pair of gloves that I love, and they've got the little thing on the tip of the fingers so you can actually use your phone, you know? But they're from the US, and so I'm like always worried that if I lose them, I'm gonna be really sad. Because they came from like, not Walmart, but who's the big one? Costco. Came from Costco. There's no Costco here. So yeah, I'm not, but I haven't actually gone looking to see if they have gloves like that here. But the thing is, my hands are smaller, on the smaller side, and so getting gloves that fit, like I purposefully brought 2 pair of gardening or leather gloves with me, because from the US when we moved, like when we're packing stuff and I'm like, I'm going to take this t-shirt, I'm going to take this pair of pants, and I'm going to take these 2 pair of gloves because they actually fit. So finding gloves that fit is nice. So there's a part of me that's like, as I'm watching these people, you know, knitting and crocheting clothing that fits them, I'm like, I could do that. Like, this seems like a skill that I could acquire, because I like crocheting, and I'm enjoying knitting for sure. So I just have to figure out how to get the skill that allows me to do these things. Anyway, so I would love to knit myself a pair of gloves. I think that'd be really cool. But I do wonder, like, what do I need to do that? Like, what skill set do I need to do that? And do I have the right materials to do that? And that sort of thing. Oh, a day my patient says, I bought this kind of gloves with the special fingertips, and yes, the fingers are too long for me. Yeah, right, exactly. Yeah, usually my gloves are like, you know, my hand is like this, and my gloves come up like this much more. So you go to tap on something, and it's like, you know, it just, yeah, it's silly. It's silly. Lost Shire Hobbit, hello! A Hobbit has arrived. Indeed. A Hobbit has come to watch the other Hobbits. I'm a little quieter today, Lost Hobbit, because I have a headache, so just FYI. There's nothing wrong. You do not need to adjust your television set. Yes, but you can if you want, as before says. I keep going louder and quieter, and that's not you, it's me. It's not your volume settings. But I currently have a cat on my lap, so I'm nice and cozy one. But, you know, honey, you would be so much happier in the cat box, in your little basket, where I have the cat count set up just for you. Yeah, I know, right? She was there until we got started. It was great. And then she jumped down. Because that's how this always goes. It's really funny. Lost Shire Hobbit says, feel better soon. I just got home from work, and first thing I did was get the stream on. Awesome. Well, I'm glad you're able to join us. I mean, I've only been on for like an hour, a little over an hour. So you're only halfway through mine. And then we've got before after me, so you're in the early part. You're doing great. Aaron Bard says, poor Lost Hobbit, how did you get lost? Indeed. So Dame Hypatia says, the gloves I made are Live Long and Prosper on Ravelry. It's a free pattern. If you can increase, decrease, and do the Kitchener stitch, you can knit them. I don't know what a Kitchener stitch is yet. Oh, okay, but before it says I can do it. All right. I am definitely one of those people when it comes to knitting and crocheting where it's like, I'll just follow the pattern, and it's like, do this. I'm like, okay, do that, and then they do that, okay, do that. And like, you know, a couple years later, they're like, you know, I'll find something else, and they're like, you need to do this and that. And I'm like, I don't know what that is. And I'll go and look it up, and it's like, oh, I did that before, and I did that. Oops. I ended up putting myself on my worsted stuff. There we go. That'll be harder to attack things. My bar, it's, you know, if I push page up, it's switch. So if you look at my toolbars down here at the bottom of my screen, like, what am I doing? Over here on the bottom of my screen. So this is my regular one, and if I put page up, it takes me to that one, which is my social, where I put a bunch of social stuff, because that's really important for me. And then the third one is your Horsteed one, which is not very necessary in this space. Oh, I think I left my rod reel. I think I lost her. Uh-oh. Can't I just leave instance? There we go. Let's see if I can do it that way. I don't know. What is a Kitchener stitch, though? Anyway, Dame Hypatia says, hands the Hobbit a sandwich. A lost Hobbit surely is hungry. I mean, you could just pass those around. I left this morning. Oh, it still thinks I'm in the instance.
The green thing here.
The green thing? Okay. He's trying to show me a Kitchener stitch.
You see how the ends have been closed?
Yeah.
You faking a knit stitch.
Oh, so, okay, so a Kitchener stitch is taking two pieces, bringing them together, and then doing a stitch in the middle that looks like a knit? Maybe. I'll look into this later. But cool. I can probably do that. Also known as grafting. Okay. That sounds, you know, plausible. Why not? I haven't made any socks yet, and I do wonder if I should try socks before trying gloves. I don't know. Yes. Aaron Bard says, well thought of, Dame Hypatia. The sandwich. Good job. I appreciate Dame Hypatia comes in and takes care of us hobbits, you know. All right, we're going to do assault on Trestle Bridge. No pepper.
Continuing the food theme.
Yes, continuing the food thing. A garlic on Trestle Bridge. Not a fan of the horn.
How
will
can I
say.
be of service?
Not on my head. But that's okay. So what have I been working on? So, oh yeah, I've been working on the cardigan, which is called a vest in Dutch. Drives me nuts. Because I'm like, it's not a vest, it has sleeves. And they're like, yes, but this is what you call this. I'm like, well, then it's wrong. Which, you know, is how this conversation goes every damn time. Because it just bothers me to call a cardigan a vest. Because I'm like, it's not a vest, it has sleeves. I think we've had this conversation before. Yeah. At any rate, I'm making a cardigan. Because I get cold, and the part of me that gets cold are my arms, not my torso. Therefore, I don't need something that is this without sleeves. That would be exactly the opposite of what I need. Anyway, so I'm making a cardigan. And I got, I don't know if any of you like follow TL Yarn Crafts. Her name is Tony Lipsy, and she does a lot of crochet, and she has great videos. And I've really been enjoying her videos for a few years now. Anyway, she worked with Hobby and created a yarn together. And the yarn is 50% wool and 50% cotton. So it does, it's going to be warm, but it should also have some breathability to it. It's really easy to work with. It's soft. The only thing that's weird about it for me is that it's a heavier weight, which means, for those of you who aren't yarn people, it's thicker than what I normally work with. For some reason, so like when you make socks, the yarn that you use to make socks is pretty thin, but because you're knitting, you basically end up making a fabric with it, and it's a pretty good, like this that I'm wearing, this, you know, cardigan. It's kind of thin, right? And so the yarn that would have been used to make this, if this was handmade, would be pretty thin also. Same thing for socks. Like your socks are only so thick. Because if you had big, chunky, thick socks, they wouldn't fit in your shoes, and that would be really uncomfortable. So the yarn that I use is basically sock size yarn for a lot of things. That's kind of like my favorite size, I guess, if I have to pick a favorite. I just like it. But the yarn that I got that Tony Lipsy created is thicker. It's DK, which means double knit, which is basically twice as big, twice as thick as what I'm used to working with. Just FYI. So there you go. If you didn't already know that, you may have learned something today. Dame Hypatia says cardigan is Strickjacke in German, meaning knitted jacket. And interestingly, it's not a subcategory of sweater in Germany, but jackets. I guess, you know, I could see that because it opens, you know, as opposed, well, but jackets, yeah, because sweater just straight over the head, and it wouldn't have an opening necessarily. That's my thinking, is how they would probably term it, because it definitely seems to be the same thing, because, like, I'm making this cardigan, which is a sweater, right? Like, we would say it's a sweater. But they wouldn't call it a sweater. They would definitely call it a vest, which is a thing that would come around you, not something you put over your head. So, yeah, I could see that. Aaron Bard says German is such a fun language. It is fun to see also the, I understand German stuff sometimes because of understanding the Dutch stuff. So that's kind of yeah, kind of fun. Lizardin says it's nice to listen about crafting on Lotro stream. Well, I'm glad that it's because it's kind of a niche thing. So I'm glad that it's not that. Yeah, I sometimes I wonder if people are like, ugh, why are you talking about crafting? It's an MMO. But like, I don't know. I'm glad that I have found others who enjoy this kind of chillaxing and talking about stuff. So, so after I finished the blankets, I had two other projects that were going, and one is the cardigan that I was mentioning, which I'll come back to in a minute. And the other one is I should put a stitch marker in that, is a gordijn, which means curtain. I'm making a curtain for our bathroom. A lot of Dutch people have what they call privacy curtains, so it doesn't cover like the entire curtain window. It just covers like a portion of it that you might be the part where somebody might see you, like eyes to eyes kind of thing. So there's a spot kind of on our bathroom curtain area where you could look out and see people potentially. So anyway, I'm making, I think this is upside down. And you probably, oh, you can actually tell. You can see it on the stream. Look at that. So it's a little, oops, it's a little house. It's right side up now. And so, yeah, so you can see the first house here has started. And then I've started moving over here and I'm making a second house. And they're different houses. So like this one is more like this high, but but the curtain goes all the way across. And so it's kind of like working with just binary code. So it's either, off or on. So either you have the hole or you have the fill. But by doing it like that, it creates an image. I just think that is so clever. I think that's so cute. And it's also like kind of an old school thing. Not many people in the Netherlands do this anymore, or in general. So anyway, this is definitely something where you can't, pixel art. Yeah, says Lizardland. Yeah, it's basically, it is. And I just think it's fun. But you cannot like mindlessly work on that. You've got to pay attention every single time. And so it's a project that I started, and then I didn't like the yarn I was using for it, and so thankfully the person who used to own the yarn shop in Arnhem still has some yarn, and I see her once a month because she has like a little knitting crocheting day that we get together, us and some of she has like a little group of people, and I'm in it, thank goodness, because I really like those folks, and I like seeing her, so it's nice. Anyway, so she happened to have some yarn, and I was able to get that from her, because the yarn I was using was a lot thicker, was this yarn, which is like anyway, it's a what?
You could make the same for the back windows here.
It's not that much thicker. He was saying I could do it for the back windows. It's not that much thicker. But basically the difference is I went from using this yarn to using this yarn. And even if you just see these side by side, you might be able to know, even as non-yarny person, that this looks a bit thicker than this. So, yes, I'm coding curtains. Now, thankfully, I did not have to come up with this pattern myself. I'm following somebody else's pattern. But it really does come where I'm like, I have to pay attention to every single row and every single, spot just to make sure I get it right and count the right numbers and all of those things. Let's see. Aaron Bard says, someone told me that the German translation for vacuum cleaner is dust sucker, Staubsauger. Yeah, before I was looking at that Dutch Staubsauger, dust sucker. Yeah, there we go. Lizardman says, yeah, one could be a tailor in both game and reality. Yeah, exactly, right? So, it is definitely, Oh, you're doing the thing, sorry. Okay, this guy is Calling rainforest. Okay, I'll do the cage. Dame Hypatia says, I love the diversity of topics that's talked about in Lotro streams. Yay! It is fun because like different Lotro streamers have different like interests too, and I like how it comes through, you know, in our different streams. I wonder if I can sneak in and get these goods without them noticing me. Yes, I can. Yeah, Sandy says it looks very delicate, reminds me of tatting. I know, right? I had that same thought, and I wondered if I should investigate tatting at some point. Is that something I would like to do, you know? I don't know. Because I think it's just another version of crochet, perhaps? I mean, at the end of the day, all we're doing is, you know, taking string and making various forms of knots with it, right? So it's just, I wonder if it's another version of making knots that's similar to stuff I've already been doing, or if it's something completely different. So, anyway. Let's see, Aaron Bard said, what is that style called again? Oh, the curtain? I just forgot the words I had said previously. It is on Ravelry. And I think I have all of my projects are public. So like if you go to Ravelry and you look at my account, I try to make sure that everything I'm working on can be viewed by anybody, whether they have a Ravelry account or not. I don't know how you find your friends though. Okay. Oh yeah, the picture's right there. It's a privacy yeah, privacy curtain.
But it's just crochet.
It's just crochet. The pattern, yeah, it's crochet. So that one's a crochet pattern, not a knitted pattern. But it's basically, yeah, you're either doing like, you do a double crochet and then a chain and a double crochet to make an open spot, or you do double crochet, double crochet, double crochet to make a closed spot. It's really fascinating. I think it's a cool idea. But man, it takes a lot of attention. So that one's been sitting on my desk actually for a few months, I think. That's right, because I was trying to do it before we had family visit, and that was, they came in September. It's now November, yeah. So I was trying to finish it before they got here because I thought they might appreciate the privacy curtain in the bathroom. As it turns out, it didn't matter. The window was closed most of the time anyway, and yeah, it didn't really matter in the end of the day. And then I kept meaning to get back to it, but then I did the basket on my bicycle, and then I had a whole bunch of extra yarn left over from that, and I didn't want that yarn, and so I made some quick blankets to just use it up. And then every 2 weeks I'm at a crafting morning, and so I've been working on my cardigan at the crafting morning, but no other time. So that's been going really slowly. But now that the blankets are done, I'm doing the cardigan some of the time, and then when I have the attention for it, I'm working on the curtain part of the time. I said gordijn earlier, so maybe that's what you thought you were thinking about also. Gordijn means curtain in Dutch. It's just on my mind because it's going to be in a Dutch window, so I'm calling it a gordijn. Because most of the time I talk about it, I'm talking about it with other people who are Dutch. Yes, and it, before says, it almost says recipe instead of pattern. I know, right? It is. I mean, it is a recipe. It's a recipe using string.
Wrong crafting tree.
Wrong crafting tree. Indeed. Let's see. Lizardlin says, I like to make cords with yarn and finger loop techniques. That's awesome. I did do a finger knitting or finger crocheting one time. I thought that was a really interesting idea. I'm fine keeping with my hooks and sticks and stuff. I don't necessarily need to do it with my fingers because I think also because I'm using such fine yarn most of the time that I like, it's easier for me to have, hooks and sticks. that's mine. Okay, cool.
What do you need?
Oh, and before I go anywhere, I'm going to dismiss my pet and follow Affadil. There we go. Sweet. Aaron Bard said it would be fun to do that pattern with castle towers. Right. Let's see. Oh, don't forget you get your red roll. Oh, you got it. Okay. Sandy says, my grandmother would make pillowcases and then embroidery or knit and tat beautiful edges on them. See, I've thought about that because I've seen, oh, you know what? It must have been my grandmother's house because she used to, she knitted and wouldn't surprise me. That's probably where I've seen that before. So anyway, yeah, every woman in the family received at least 2. Oh, yeah. That'd be awesome if you take pictures and share. I'd love to see that. That'd be very cool. Okay, yeah, so before posted the link to the privacy curtain. It's called a legacy curtain. And like I said, it used to be really common, apparently, in Dutch households to have a hand-done curtain of this type. But it's not as common anymore. You can get stickers, you know, that you just stick onto your window. People will do that, I think, now more often than have a curtain made. Aaron Bard says this is his least favorite Trestle Bridge mission. Is it because of the spiders? Or is it because it's so easy to get lost in here? Because it's really easy for me to get lost in here. Oh, my bags are overfull. That's fun. Sure. Let me see what I can give you. There's not a lot that I can sell. Ha. You can reject it. Oh, you know what I could do is I forgot to put my Flame of Ancalamir back into my chest. And go ahead and take those things. And then I'll grab these things. I don't know what else I'm going to give you. Oh, here, you can keep all these essences.
Yeah.
I never know what to do with these.
Toss them on.
Okay, so we'll do that. And then I should have things I can sell. Let's see. Yeah, that's gone. We'll keep the wood. We'll keep that, whatever that was. I'll keep that and that. That looks like something. And we'll get rid of those. Cool, now I have 15 spaces in my inventory. That'll do for the day. Not a fan of the giant spiders, says Aaron Bard. Yeah, I can understand that. Well, I mean, if you want to, like, use this time to grab a cup of tea or something, you know, I'm happy to kind of let you know when we're done.
Oh, we'll be taking vengeance on
Or yes, you could watch us take vengeance on these spiders on your behalf. So there's that too. Dame Hypatia says, I have such a curtain with cats made by my mother decades ago. That would be super cute. As you know, I love cats. So, and I've been a fan of cats since I was basically like born. Like when I came home from the hospital, there was a cat in the house, and I have, as far as I know, been a fan of cats like for all time. So we did a woodworking project at school one time, and I made like a little wooden cat. We had a ceramics project one time in school, and I made a big ceramic cat where the head could come off, and you could put stuff in it theoretically. And it had roller skates on it because I still love roller skating also. So it was a roller skating ceramic cat. Yes. It is true. So that was funny. Yeah. So yeah, I'm a big fan of cats. Oops, I'm not with you. I got lost. But there's a nest back there that I didn't get because there's. Okay. There's nests everywhere. Okay, and spiders, as it turns out. Sandy says, my granddaughter's first word was dada and second word was kitty cat. Excellent. Hopefully she's got mom down too now, because, you know, don't want her to feel left out. Lizardlin, oh, is it, wait, it's not an L at the beginning, I just realized it's an I. So, Is Arden? Nay, it's a capital I. Or is it an L? A lowercase L. Oh, it's a lowercase L. Okay. Sorry. Just commenting on your name, trying to make sure I get it right. Let's see. Yes. Cats would be pretty cool, though. If I end up making another one, I'll consider the cat's idea.
Variation where each house would just do a profile of a different cat.
Each house has a profile of a cat?
Replace each house with
Oh.
a profile of
Yes. Replace each house with a profile of a cat. Yeah, absolutely. I'd have to, like, possibly design it myself or find, a pixel art version of cat, that I could just copy. And then I'd have to draw it out, I suppose. But, I mean, that'd be fine. It's just, I'm not sure if I'm going to want to do another one after this because it is a bit attention intensive. And, yeah. We'll see how much attention I have for that. Because I like to be able to crochet or knit and do other things like watch a video or listen to music or whatever. I can kind of listen to music while I'm working on it, but it's still not as easy to do. So, I don't know. Aaron Bard says, thanks, I'll survive. You do find the noises the spiders make kind of funny, almost a chirping. Yeah. So Lizard says something about, this is how crafting person's cupboard looks like. Lots of materials and everything is important. Yeah, my inventory is kind of, well, the problem is this hasn't been a questing character. It's been a social character. So, this is I have 2 characters on this server that I do social activities with. And she's one of them. And so as things would come into my inventory, I hadn't really dealt with them because I didn't need to. Because, I'm just going to social activities. I'm not going out and accumulating a lot of stuff, so it's no big deal. So over time, the inventory just keeps getting more and more full. Hey, the spiders are done. Yay. Now we're going to some invaders on the Delph. Not Delft. That'd be sad. Invaders on the Delft pottery. Delft pottery is, I think, rather expensive.
Meg of Onan.
I wouldn't mind having a little bit of it, but it's more, I would want to use it. You know what I mean? Like, for me, I like pottery that I can use on a daily basis as part of my usage. And if I had Delft pottery, I would want to, use it. And it's too expensive for that. Anyway, I would show you the cardigan, but I think it's on the other side of the room. Like I said, I was making really slow progress on it because I was only working on it, every other Friday, basically, from 10 to 12. and then once a month at the other gathering for a couple hours. So, project's not going to move very quickly when I'm not doing it that often. But since I cleared out the blankets, and I decided that when I don't feel like doing the crochet curtain, I will work on my knitting. So, which has been nice actually, because I need to count where I'm at. And since I was doing it at home, it was a little quieter, less socializing. It was just me paying attention to my thing. And so that was nice. I was able to count and see where I'm at. So I've only got I forgot already, but I only have a few more increase rows to do. And then it switches to being different. Right now what it is it has a really big cowl type thing, neck piece. And I'm starting at the top. It's the pattern goes from the top to the bottom, knitting wise. And so anyway, so I've done the top part, the neck, and then all the way to here, and then it's coming down. and I'm almost to the point where, you know, when you get to, like, if you're knitting this, let me pick up another supplies here. So if I'm like, let's say, here, let me do it this side, maybe. If I was like coming from here and going down, I could just like keep knitting back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. But eventually you get to the arms, and then you have to kind of stop because, like, this isn't around anymore. This is like a whole separate thing going on, right? So there's multiple ways to handle it, but I'm pretty sure the way this pattern handles it is you kind of stop with the whole sleeve business. You just kind of leave a hole there, and you come back to it later. And then you just keep working on the body, because from here you could just kind of go back and forth and back and forth and back and forth, like you were doing already. So you just leave a hole, and then you come back later and you make some sleeves and you put them in there.
Oh, yeah, I'm missing a mining cart.
Oh, this mining cart? Sweet. All right, so we're this thing that we're doing here in the game, this thing that you're watching. What? It has two sides. So that was the east delve, and now we're going to the west delve. And then this little house where we started is in between them. So we were at this flag over here, and now we're running over to this flag over here. So when you're doing it, you end up doing half of the mission at one and half of the mission at the other one. So like defeat the half-orc overseer, we have done 1 out of 2. Destroy mining cart supplies, we've done 5 out of 10. And destroy the mining carts, we've done 5 out of 10. So that's why Affodil was like, hey, I'm missing a mining cart, because we were at 4 out of 10, and we knew that we should be at 5, because it's half and half. Now, some of them, if I recall correctly, had, like, you could end up with a +1 on one side and grab it the other way, but it might not be this instance. It might have been something else. Well, it might be the daily that you can do in the wildwood, because we're in the wildwood now. Yeah, I think the mission is exact. There's only exactly what you need, whereas I think the daily that you do on the actual landscape has a little extra going on. Aaron Bard says, it was good to see Miss Rosenblum at the kite tea and pony race. Yeah, I was glad I was able to make that. I wasn't sure, because we had something else also on the calendar at the same time. But it worked out. I was able to be there. Something, I can't remember. There was something that, but anyway, yes, I was glad I was able to come. I did have to be away from my computer at one point during it. So that was a little, oh, that's when the mouse happened. Thank you, honey. He remembers. The North remembers. Yeah, that's why I had to be away from my computer during the event. So annoyed. She brought a mouse into the house, like seriously. So yeah. So that's why I was like, so for those of you who are like, what are you talking about? There was a social event on Laurelin here, and so I took this character to that event, and it was like in a neighborhood, in a Shire neighborhood, and Homestead's neighborhood, and we had kites. You could show off your kite. That was cool, and there was like a tea where you could stand around and drink and have snacks and whatnot. And then there was a pony race. And so they lined all the ponies up in, oh, I forgot, and there was also a poem. You could tell, there was a portion where you could tell a poem about your pony, or a poem from your pony's perspective. So it was fun. Unfortunately, I didn't have time to prepare any poems this year. I'm trying to do that next year. But anyway, so then there was a pony race, and you line up all your ponies in one of the fields, and then they take off, and they go around a part of the neighborhood, and then they come back. Well, I completely missed it because we were on the mouse hunt at that point, and so I came back, and they're lining up to do the pony race. So I've missed all the information about what the race route is. So I'm like, no, I'm not even going to try and partake of that. And so I was like, I'll just watch. I'm totally fine with that. So I watched the ponies leave, and then I'm hanging out there, and I'm still doing stuff, but I'm mainly back at my computer at that point. And I keep waiting, and I'm like, oh, they're not back yet. And I go do something else, and I'm like, oh, they're not back yet. And I kept waiting, and I realized after a while that, like, I'm the only one here. I don't think they're coming back. So I think the ponies went, like, in a route that ended somewhere different from where they started. And I didn't realize that. Yeah, so that was kind of funny. So eventually I'm like, huh, I wonder if everybody's back at the house where this all began. And yeah. And then I went to the wrong house, so it took me a minute to find the right house. But eventually I did, and, you know, it all worked out. Anyway, it was a night of hilarity for me. But I had a good time. Oh, the finish was the burrow. Oh, okay. Yeah, see, that's what I mean. Like, I missed the information. I missed all of it. It was fine. It was fine. It was just kind of funny. I'm like, oh, hey, I'm currency capped on tokens of heroism. So after this one,
That was shit first.
we'll do it now? Okay. I'm going to take us to Thorin's Hall. Thanks to, I think it was Egg Arthur, was it? Who was like, hey, Thorin's Hall has the closest dude that you want.
Now, I have to sort out who can do this.
Aaron Bard says, oh gosh, you have no idea. So many things went sideways. Your mouse adventure was just par for the course. Oh, that's kind of funny. Oh, I can't turn any in. I have a day and 13 hours left before I can do this. But the good news, I guess, is that
You can switch to Nana.
it's the currency is shared in the wallet. So I'm going to switch to another character who's going to use up some of these tokens, and then I'll switch back to Rosenbloom. So, oh, that's so funny, Aaron Bard. Well, I think people had a good time. So, I mean, that's really all that matters, right? It doesn't matter, like, if the food was cooked properly or if you had the perfect side dish or whatever. All that matters is people had a good time. And I think it sounded like people had a good time. So that was great. So, yes, and I appreciated. So when I walked away to deal with the mouse, I think that was the time, I went ahead and laid my character down. So we were in a field at the time holding our kites. And so I went ahead and had my character lay down because I was like, that's great. I'm not interacting with anybody at that moment. And it's a great view of all the kites. I'm like, so that works. So I laid my character down. And then I came back a few minutes later, you know, mid-mouse. And then, you know, later on, and then the pony thing happened and all of these things happened. And then later on, Aaron Bard was giving away prizes. You and, who is your helper? I forgot now the words. Anyway, and what did you guys give me? Like, most likely to be found lying around in a field or something like that? Which I thought was hilarious. Oh yeah, Aldebras was helping out too. Nice, yeah, he was a good helper. So I just I was amused at at earning
Would you do something for me?
a prize for
How can
for
I be of service?
most likely to take a nap. That
Can I
was pretty
speak with
funny.
you a moment?
So, oh, that
What
was
do you
good,
need?
and it was a wall hanging
Stay a moment.
that I didn't have, so that's nice. So that's up in my house
How can
now.
I be of service?
So that's pretty cool. Yay! Okay, so I've turned in a whole bunch of those tokens. Cool. So we just leave her here and log out and swap back to Rosenbloom. So it was actually quite nice to like lay there and stare up at the kites. It was good. Aaron Bard says it's tough to find prizes for higher level folk. Well, you also have to remember that I'm not really a higher level folk. Like, the only reason the reason she was level 98 or whatever that she was is from doing festivals. Like, Adamantia's sitting there at level 99. Festivals. That's all of my experience. So all of those cool things that you can get from doing well, not necessarily missions, but like roving threats. I haven't done any with these characters. So all of those tapestries, I don't know if those are bound or if you can give those away, but all of those, I don't have any of those. And gosh, what are some other ones? Yeah, there's anyway, any of the stuff that you get from bartering with higher level tokens. I figure a lot of that stuff not everybody has, you know, because you might not have gotten up there, you might not have spent the time to do it, like all of that. Sergeant says to take a nap randomly in the middle of an event is very Hobbit-like. Yeah, that's true. It worked out pretty good. Oh yeah, so the cardigan is like here to here, and I'm almost to the point where the sleeves happen. I'm like, I don't know, 8 rows away or less, I think, from where the sleeves happen. So that's cool because there'll be some fiddliness at that point, but then I think it goes back to like a repeating thing, because like basically from here to here, it's just been the same thing row upon row, and that's easy. So I'll go through the fiddly part at home, and then I'll go back to like a repeating thing, and that'll be cool, because I can, yeah, it's all done. And then it's easy enough to take with me. The other problem I'm running into with though is it's getting big and bulky, and it's not that far down, you know. So that's gonna be an interesting challenge to figure out how I want to carry it around with me, because it's been super easy. Actually, when you have a second, can you just grab my backpack? It's on the poof over there. Thank you. So what I tend to do is I like to just carry a small bag with me, and I just like to do a backpack because then it doesn't pull on my shoulders or anything. So I just have like this is like the biggest backpack that I really like to carry because it's just easy. It just goes right on my back. In fact, I've actually thought about trying to get a smaller one, because most of the time I'm just carrying a bag of this size, and that's not too, that's pretty small. It's pretty easy to, it's very portable, right? Very handy. Easy to sit on my lap on the bus if the bus is really busy, things like that. But the problem is the cardigan is now this big, and I just had to move up to a bigger bag. I don't know if you can actually tell, but this is actually a bigger bag than this big. There you go. You can actually see the difference. So I've actually just upgraded to a larger bag for this project, but then it's going to keep getting bigger and bigger, and I'm going to have to start carrying a larger and larger bag. And this is the first project I've done where I will have to have a large bag. Everything else I've done has been small enough. So I'm not going to hold it up too big because I'm in the middle of a row, and I've screwed myself up by being in the middle of a row and stopping before, but I did this time. So anyway, so this is the cowl. This is the top part that folds over. And then this is I know you can't tell much, but this is where the it comes down. These like the sleeves and the front panel and stuff like that. So it's kind of like this is a dark aubergine purpley kind of color. And then this is that same color, but it's aubergine blended with like a creamy white. So it's this yarn is how it is coming out, and it comes out like that. So I think it's gonna be cool. That's right, regular bag can't contain your crafting eagerness. So I'm gonna have to be one of those people that carries a large bag. So that'll be new, but that's okay. I'm up for new experiences. That's the whole point of all this, is to learn new things. Funny thing though is I was just planning to make myself something, like this, something nice, lightweight, easy to just crumple up, throw in a bag. Oh, I gotta take us back to Trestle Bridge, huh? Let me take us back to Trestle Bridge. Yes, cool. I forgot where we were staying. Oh yeah, I wanted to make something thin, like this, easy to, manage and all of that. Well, but then this yarn came out, and I really wanted to work with this yarn, so I found a pattern that is that right size of yarn and all that. So I matched it all up, blah, blah, blah. And it's a lot thicker than I was expecting. And it's going to be a lot bigger. Not bigger like bigger, but thicker. And it's going to be warm. It's going to be super warm. Yes, it is. You can come up? Come on. Yeah, you. There you go. Hi. You should get your basket. Here. You should come climb in your basket. Do it. Do it. Nope, she's coming to me. Silly girl. I'm going to pick you up. I'm going to pick you up so people can see you. This is Kato. Yes, you are. You say hi. Hi, baby. She doesn't like being picked up. No, you don't, do you? She doesn't like being picked up at all. But we're working on making her more and more used to it. It's taken time, but she's, progress. There we go. Oh, there we go. I'm going to put a kitty treat. Here, Kato. Come here. Come here, baby. Come here. Come here. Right over here. There you go. Good job. Well, there you are. She's there. She's very pretty. She is very pretty. I think she looks fantastic. Don't you? All right, I think we are ready to move forward. Oh, wow. Before says, alarmingly, we only have one more alt that we can use to burn through the tokens of heroism, and the quest doesn't reset until Thursday. So we may have to find other things to work on leveling. Actually, we had been, and I didn't want to do this on stream, but we had been, what do you like? Doing landscape. But we're up in because Affidel came in at a 130, we were doing the Gundabad stuff, which now we're over leveled for. Yeah, we'd have to go over to do Umbar stuff now. Yeah, we would get better equipment. I just feel like I'm kind of bummed because I was kind of enjoying the Gundabad storyline. Oh, Affidel is... Okay, before saying that Affidel is really feeling the lack of good equipment. Oh, well. Your equipment's 12 levels old. Yeah, fair enough. So if we did go and do Umbar level questing, then you would get Umbar level drops in landscape. Oh, and Umbar cooking. That's true. If we want the food for the Umbar level, that requires Umbar fish and stuff like that. So anyway, my point being that I think we might off-stream go and do landscape questing, and because the missions are easy to do on stream, and I don't feel like we're spoiling any content, or not much, and I'm not actually reading all the content to you anyway, so you're not missing something that you wouldn't then be able to go and do on your own. As opposed to if we do landscape stuff, we totally would be spoiling stories, and I don't want to do that necessarily. So, anyway, yes. Egg Arthur says, speak softly and carry a big bag. Yeah, it's gonna be. Well, I mean, I've seen this before. People have over-the-shoulder bags, and they get to the crafting day and they pull out this large bag of, of a blanket coming out of a bag or whatever.
There were ways to craft a large bag.
And I'm like, okay, I could do that. Yes. Before it says, if only there was a way to craft a large bag. Oh, trust me, I have plenty of bags. That's one of the things I had to pare down before we moved over, actually. I don't know, I just have an affection for bags, of cool stuff, or it's got cool writing on it, or, whatever. So I did pare that down significantly before we moved. And I've only acquired a few since we got here. The things I showed you actually are ones that I've gotten since we've been here. But those are craft bags, I didn't have anything quite like that before. Yes, the cat cam Shire Habit says, Cord, take note. I do enjoy having the cat cam, especially when she's in it. Silly girl. All right, we'll turn that off again. Sorry. I know, false alarm. She was only there for a moment. You know, wonder if there's a way that we could have the cat cam on your computer when you're streaming, like, have it would have to be a long cord.
Just need a long cable.
We'd have to get a long cable. Because she'll come and lay down here later after I'm done. I think that's it. I think it's the talking. I think generally the cats, for a long time, would be just totally chill, hanging out, all of that. And then as soon as we start streaming, they make themselves scarce. And I think then it's like within 10 minutes of us stop streaming, they're back. So, yeah, our theory is that they just don't really like us all the talking. Like, it just doesn't, you know. Yeah, maybe. He's saying maybe they think we have company. I don't know, because, yeah, strangers make them nervous. But they've gotten kind of used to the people that come over regularly. So they don't run and hide so much. Like when they hear the normal voices, they're like, "Oh, it's just you. Okay, we're cool." You know. Cool. So they have gotten more used to us streaming, and as you notice, like Kato's come and laid in my lap. I don't know, like 4 times during the stream. I just keep moving around too much because I need my hands. Well, I find it convenient to do stuff. If I'm doing stuff on the computer, I find it convenient to have my hands for it. Yeah. Svalfang, stand. Oh yeah, gotta pick up my Radwell. Alright, and sweet, thank you. Yes, watch out for falling rocks. So yeah, so we'll probably not have to worry about ending up with too many more tokens of heroism. Well, if we do landscape, we do actually. I don't know. We'll just figure it out. That would be hilarious if we ended up making alts just to take care of our tokens of heroism. Oh, I have one more. That's so weird. Why am I getting them faster than you are? That's so odd. That is really interesting. Oh, yesterday was it? But anyway, we did this the other day, recently, and we ended up taking out Svalfang before the pets even came in. But he just called for them, and so they did show up. So he like fell over, and then the pets came in. It was kind of funny. All right. Oh, Aaron Bart says, I'm not sure I understand why you would need alts for tokens of heroism. So what happens is as you're defeating, okay, so we're playing on one of the difficulties. So difficulty +3 is what we're playing on. And as we are attacking things, sometimes those things drop these tokens of heroism and they go straight into our wallet, and so you end up accumulating them over time. But it's not a one-to-one drop. Like it's yeah, it's occasional. It's yeah, they sometimes drop, but not always drop. And sometimes they drop for everybody in the fellowship, and sometimes they only drop for some of the people in the fellowship. So yeah, you don't know how quickly you're going to accumulate them. But they do have a wallet limit of 60, so it's not a lot. But generally you're not, you know, active enough necessarily in ways in which you would collect 60. We have been a little extra active on Laurelin, you know, of late, and so we're accumulating them faster than we're using them. So what you do with those tokens is the guy who we went and saw there at Thorns Hall, he's the token barterer. So you go talk to him, and he gives you a task. And the first level of that task, you give him 10 of those tokens, and he'll give you X number of tokens that you can barter with him. I can't remember what they're called. Heroes marks? Okay. You give him tokens of heroism, he gives you heroes marks. And you use those heroes marks to buy those fancy emotes like the epic shiver emote, things like that. Which is what the whole, so it's just silliness, okay? So it's not super seriousness. It's not like gear that's like the super bestest gear you've ever seen or anything wacky like that. No, it's just for fun emotes and things like that. So anyway, so yeah, you turn in 10 tokens and he gives you some of his barter tokens. You turn in 20 tokens to him, he gives you more than he did for 10, but not double the amount. So the first level's the best, but that only takes care of 10 out of your wallet. So if your wallet's full, you turn in the first level, you've turned in 10, sure, but you still got 50 in your wallet, and your wallet's still almost full. So it goes 10, 20, 30 for the tier 1, tier 2, well, not tier 1, but like version 1, version 2, version 3. Yeah, so B4 did a checking on it, and he says the first one you do where you give him 10, he gives you 3. The second one where you turn in 20, he gives you 5, so it's not as good a rate of return. And the third one where you give him 30, he gives you 7. So it gets decreasingly, you know, it gets worse as you turn in higher numbers. Yeah, waiting for the counterattack. There they come. So ideally you would just like do the first level every time, but it resets only once a week. But it's a shared item, it's a shared currency in your wallet. So if I have 60 tokens of heroism, so does every other character on my account. They all have access to the same 60. Oh, hey guys. So the silly hijinks we have been playing is that I take Rosenbloom, who's my main, and she turns in, you know, she does 60, and then Rosenbloom keeps going out into combat, gets another 60, and I switch to another character who turns in 60. And then Rosenbloom goes out and she gets another 60, so I switch to character number 3 who turns in 60, and so forth. Yeah. And thankfully, B4 has been great about keeping notes from the beginning on this, because I didn't. And so he's been paying attention to who did we already do that with this week. Because again, it's a 1-week cooldown for each character. Hi, baby. I feel like I just need to get another camera or something. Although she's going to go hide under the desk, I think. Yeah, she's gone slightly under. So I have a footstool under my desk. And I put a blanket over my lap. And then I put my legs under. And so it kind of creates like this little, you know, little valley for her. Where she's between my legs but still on the blanket. And it's like a little hammock. And she likes to sleep under there sometimes. That's what she was just working on. Because she's funny. Yes, you are. Are we doing the ambush? All right. Here I come. Let's see. Egg Arthur says, I know of someone who created about 20 alts in order to hyper accelerate getting paths of Valar stuff. Oh my gosh. Egg Arthur says also for conversion to heroic marks, that's what we were just talking about, it's most efficient to do only the first tier of the weekly quest. So more tier 1s and more alts is better than more tiers on fewer alts. Sure, but doesn't it... So it gives reputation when you turn in the quest. So only the character who turns in the quest gets the reputation. And then also, you need certain tiers of reputation in order to qualify to get to buy the emote. So I really need my character to, because yes, some of the emotes are reputation blocked. So you have to get reputation with this guy. I don't know what it's called, heroic reputation or something. Yeah, you have to get reputation with this guy before he'll let you buy the emotes from him. Radril's in What are you attacking? You're attacking that. Okay. Hey, Casper. Casper's background. Are the emotes account-wide? No. They are character-specific. So if you want a character to have it, you have to earn it with that character. Sorry, you have to barter for it with that character, but you can't barter for it with that character unless your character has a reputation.
Apparently you can buy reputation with tokens.
That's true, but you can barter reputation with tokens. That's true. So if you have enough of the heroic tokens that that you get from the guy, you could, kind of like with the Trestle Bridge thing, you know how they give you the rep items that you can use for bartering, but then you could also just consume them for reputation with the faction. It's a similar kind of thing like that. But I don't like to barter away reputation tokens if I can avoid it, you know? It seems a bad way to go. I'm just putting that down on the floor. Oh, seriously? She is like, oh my goodness. Yeah, so Egg Arthur says you can buy consumable rep items with the hero's mark, so that's how you hyper accelerate. Oh, Aaronbird said, so my main that I had before, difficulties were a thing, cannot have the emotes. No, you can. You can. And also, the difficulty thing is, so think of it this way. The difficulty thing, what it gets you is the ability to earn these tokens and the ability to have the monsters you're encountering have more things about them that make it a little bit more of a challenge for you. So maybe they have a wider aggro radius, or maybe they bring friends, or they do something that is extra beyond what they normally do if you were just encountering them normally. And you can make it harder and harder and harder for yourself depending on which level you choose. So think of the difficulty thing as that's its primary function. There is a secondary function where you can earn titles. That's it. That's all that secondary function does. And the only way to earn those titles are if you started the difficulty function on your character before it was level 11. Those titles, however, are account-wide. So all you need is one character somewhere on your account earning those titles. And the rest of your characters can bop in and out of the difficulty as much as they want, because they don't need to worry about earning those titles. They can do the other part, which is earning the tokens, making things more difficult, more interesting, all of that business. So, yeah, so hopefully that clears that up a little bit, because I know I've listened to Cord talk about this, and like, I adore Cord. I think he has a very difficult job, and I think he does it with great aplomb. He is like very adept at navigating the treacherous waters in which he treads, and he does it in a way that I never could, and I have a great deal of respect for that. Every so once in a while, he says things in a way, though, that I'm like, I think you're making this more confusing for people. And I think when it comes to the difficulty stuff, that is one case. Because people are so caught up on the titles, and he then also focuses on that. And it's like, let's just forget about the titles for a minute. Don't even think about the titles. But yes, the titles are the only things that are level up. That's it. Sure. The titles, technically they come from, yeah, it's a deed, but you get a title, whatever. It's the same thing. Says the deed tracker person next to me, so that's why that came up. So yes, the titles, don't worry about it. You can turn on and off the difficulty thing any old time you want. Make it higher, make it lower. While you are in it, you can defeat things and they will drop those tokens of heroism. you can turn in the tokens of heroism to earn reputation with the dude, who then will let you buy fancy emotes for just that character. I don't know if I have any epic emotes. Let me double check on this character. Have I bought any yet? I can't remember. Epic. I have not. But this is the list of all the epic emotes that you can earn. So there's epic coin flip, which I don't know if you can see it. See, it's kind of sparklier. Oh, and I think there's something over her head. Epic hero pose, so it's a big sparkly sword, as opposed to just a regular sword. Epic lecture. I'm not sure what's epic about it. Maybe it goes on for longer. I don't know. Anyway, so there's like a handful of those, and you can't necessarily buy all of them at the get-go. In fact, I'll show you in a minute. I might pop back up after we do the last trestle bridge one. How many more trestle bridges do we have? Okay. After we do the last trestle bridge, I'll pop back to the guy, and I'll show you the emotes, because I can pretty well guarantee that I'm still reputation locked on some of them. Let me see if you can see that. Right. Oh, there comes the counterattack. Let's see. Oh yeah, Aaron Bart says, thank you for clarifying all that. I hope that did make sense. Yeah. The epic emotes are kind of fun. I think they're, amusing, so that makes me happy. B4 says that we do activate tier 7 difficulty when we're doing group landscape play. This is over on Treebeard, because we do with like between 4 and 6 people. And then he says, and then we put it back on tier 3 when we're doing duo stuff. So when we have more people, we raise it up, and we have fewer people, we bring it back down, just to make our lives easier. Another reason why we do that is because if we're running in a larger group, tier 7 has it built in that it's more likely to drop tokens for more people in the fellowship, whereas tier 3, which we're running on right now, I believe, it will only it caps out for 3 people. And if we're running as a group of sure, I'll follow you.
Silly thing.
Yeah, silly thing is fine. So if we're running as a group of 6 people and it caps out at 3, well, it's not our deal. So yeah. Let's see. Edgar Thirst says, epic coin flip actually puts an image of a coin over your head so everyone can see whether it's heads or tails. That's clever. I like that. Okay, we're going to do a silly thing where the first group that came in here on this attack on the Brandywine here, we took them out. Well, I should say Affodil took them out because I was yapping. And we're just going to let them pile up. So we're just going to chill out here. It's a timed thing. It's 7 minutes and some at this point. So we're just going to hang out here for 7 minutes. You're going to go start getting ready? Awesome. And let's see. Okay, so I'll come back to you, Oscar. Let's see. Edgar Arthur says also Epic Salute has a shaft of light that highlights your character, kind of like a dwarf candle. Oh, that's cool. And Epic Lecture has letters and runes flowing from the book as you read. Oh, that's really cool. Okay, I like that. So Oscar asks, how did you get that theme on your menu? Let's see. I'm guessing you're talking about, like, why does this look like this? I am using a UI skin. So let me go Control O to my options. And under UI settings, if you scroll about 2/3 of the way down, you'll see something that says current user skin. I'm using something called JRR Delving Hills Wide 2. So let's pull up some Moobot information. So you're talking about like this, how it's green, where it says options and stuff, and all the little leaves and all of that. That is all part of this UI skin that I'm using. So there's a link there that Moobot's got for you, and it says yes, if you're looking to reskin the UI, the user interface, that's what UI stands for here. So if you're looking to reskin this interface, there's different things you can download to, and then once you've downloaded it, it will appear here in this drop down. If you haven't downloaded anything, it'll just say none. You won't have any options because there aren't any that are built into Lotro. But it is it's something that the developers of Lotro don't mind. Just it's caveat emptor, right? Like it's on you whether or not what you're using will break your computer or something. But luckily, the ones that's listed there at Lotro interface, and the one I happen to use is the JRR Skins collection, and that one's tried and tested. Many people use it, so you can be pretty confident that you can use it and you won't have any problems on your computer. Also, there's a thing called the dressing room, which when you normally try on something with your character, so if I do control and right click, nope, control left click, that's it. It will show the item on your character in this window here, which is called the dressing room. The one that by default is a part of Lotro is much smaller than this, and I want to see more of the details. So at that same link is if you download the JRR Skins collection, any of the skins include the larger dressing room, but you could just get the dressing room if you didn't want the skins collection. So that's an option at that same link. So yeah, lots of cool stuff. People, there haven't been a lot of recent people getting into making skins for the game that I've seen. So the JRR Skins collection is a collection. The person who put it together, and I forgot their name, but basically there were a whole bunch of different ones, and then after some time, the people who had created them were no longer around, and they weren't managing them, they weren't keeping them updated, and so I think they found that they were doing that, because that happens a lot in like the plugin community here, and even though that's not a plugin, that's a user skin, but it's an add-on. So in the add-on and plugin community, it seems like there is a bit of that where, I mean, and the game is 16 years old, so, people come and go, right? And so it seems like, yeah, there'll be something and it's cool, and over time, that person who was doing it goes on to other things or whatever, and somebody else picks it up, and so they're maintaining it, and then eventually they end up taking it over. Yeah, so, and actually right after my stream, B4, who's been playing here with us as Affadil, will be streaming, and his stream is called Plugin Along, and he talks about Lotro plugins, and he'll do some stuff about plugins on stream. He has taken on some plugins and is continuing to keep them current, and also like created a few things. So yeah, he can speak more eloquently about that whole process and how all that ends up happening. Some people play the game without a single plugin, without a single add-on, without anything extra at all, and that's totally fine. Like, there's no need to play the game with anything. When Cordovan, who's the SSG community manager, when he plays, he doesn't use any plugins or anything. He does it, completely as it is out of the box. And that's totally fine. I enjoy all the different things that come with the different plugins. So, I'm happy to, dive in with that. Let's see, Putty Fat, new to the chat, welcome. Says, do the JRR skins change the way the map works? I just want to not take up the whole screen. Yeah, yes, there is an option in that, actually. So I have it set to full screen. In the JRR skins collection, though, by default, it is a partial. So it's like, it goes like like I don't know if you can see where my line is, but like kind of from where the diamond is over on my screen there, and then down to about where the river is, and then over. So it's a partial size of the screen, and then there's a couple of lines of code in there that if you delete, it will make it full screen. And so I have realized that I prefer the full screen map, especially because I do the streaming, and it's easier for me to point things out on the map streaming with the full screen map than the smaller version. There was something though that Cord or somebody from SSG was talking about, and they were talking about doing something. Oh, I need you back soon. And they were talking about having it natively in the game that you could make your map size different. But I think that's a ways off. So yes, the JRR skins does have it by default smaller, and I have removed that line of code. There's instructions on how to do that on the download page. I've removed that code so that way I have it at full screen. So now you don't have the ability to move the map around. It is just in that corner, but I think there might be something that you can add in the code if you'd rather have it be like by default it's shifted to the left upper corner. I think there's a way you could have it shifted to the right upper corner, but that's a little bit beyond my knowledge and ability. But that's where you get somebody like before who can explain how to make that happen if you wanted to make that happen. So if you decide to try that in the future and you want some help, feel free to come back to one of his streams. We're always here on Tuesdays. All right, do you want to yell at them? Nice. Sweet. That took down not quite half of them, but it took down some. And I will look at y'all's comments in just a second. We got obviously some heavy combat going here. So we did this silly thing where we let them all build up, and then Affodil goes down. That's not good. Well, can you come back in and also, because I'm almost down apparently. Oh, I'm down. Do you want to revive me, or should I just retreat and come? Okay. I'll join you at the bottom. Wonder if I can bring her back in combat. Hey, Redrill, come give us a hand. Oh, no! Alright, our silly idea was very silly. It worked better 10 levels ago. Well, I mean, we're getting there. Alright, just a few more. Let's see. Okay, so Egg Arthur says, for the buried treasure event starting tomorrow, there's a plugin called Rich, and there's a few patches out there since it hasn't been updated by the original author for a while. B4 is one of the people who's put out a patch for Rich. We can talk about that here in a minute. Let's see. Aaron Bard would like the map key to be sizable. Yeah, wouldn't that be nice? Egg Arthur points out there's also the More Map plugin, which implements a separate map with added functionality. So yeah, that's true. And even though it says More Map, it isn't just for the Moors. It's for everything. Okay, so that's everything here at this. I'm gonna take us over back to Thorn's Hall so we can look at those emotes. And then once we're done with that, I'll be done streaming and I will flip it over to you. Okay. What's that? Yeah. Oh, that's a whole separate thing. Okay, so this is the guy, and then this is the difficulties that you can choose from. Those are the tasks which you see I've already done, and I had to have another day and 12 hours before they reset. And then at the bottom is the barter items.
What can I do for you?
And these are the tokens that he's been giving me, these heroes marks, in exchange for those heroic baubles that the monsters are dropping. So like grant the epic shiver emote. If I try to barter, it says your standing is too low. Now, unfortunately, it doesn't yet have that ability to tell what the, I don't know how much is what for each one, but you can see that, okay, so if I was at daring, I could get shiver and succumb. If I was at intrepid, I could get resist and salute. If I was at indomitable, that's nice that they've added these, I could get the lecture and the roar. And if I was at fearless level of with his faction, I could get epic coin flip and epic hero pose emotes. So, you know, I've got some ways to go. Now, as Agartha was pointing out, I could spend some of the tokens he's given me to buy Paths of Valor token, which gives me 500 reputation with him, with his Paths of Valor reputation faction, which then allows me to get the thing. So I would end up spending the tokens that I want to use to buy the emote to buy reputation to get me high enough to be able to buy the emote. It's a little, you know, silly, but there it is. Yeah. So let's see. Rebo, also first time in chat, says, you want to love Lotro so badly, but it's super clunky on your pretty high level rig. Is there anything in the works to address the choppiness of this game? Now, so just so you know, I don't work for SSG. The only people who stream here who do are Cordovan, who's here on Fridays, Severlin, who's sometimes on with him. He's the SSG executive producer. And Scenario also sometimes streams on here, and he's a world builder. So, I mean, Cord and Severlin can sometimes talk about that. But basically, from what I understand, and I have like a project management IT degree, but not an IT degree. So I understand things from a high level. And that basically that, you know, lag can come from any number of places. It could be, you know, something happening on their server. It could be something happening on your computer. It could be something happening on your internet connection, like your computer talking to, you know, the servers. It could be the servers talking to this. Like it has a wide variety of places where lag can come from. So they are addressing all the time lag that could be coming from anything to do with the stuff that they can control. Which is not your internet, not their internet, not your computer. Like, you know what I mean? So they can't control those things necessarily. But on the other hand, like, Sev was talking about this recently, something about DirectX 9. They have some things that require that dependability. No, that's not the right word. I forgot the word. But anyway, they have some things that require DirectX 9, I think it was. And they're trying to remove that. You know, so things like that, like they're trying to go through and make changes that can impact, if you have something or don't have something, that it won't matter. So I know they're always working on that. So the answer to your question is yes, there are things in the works, but there are always things in the works. Put it that way. So yeah. Oh, Putty Fat says sorry for the grammar and spelling errors. No worries. Anytime. Yeah, before it says more map OOR is now more map ORE. They should just rename it. Yes, Rebo says I've got a fever and the only prescription is more cowbell. I know, right? So good. Yes, Dame Hypatia says another ranger. Well, they don't range, do they? Most of them just sit or lean against something. Yeah. I think was it Druid's Fire said something about like this guy's got a hard lean. Like he's really holding that thing up there, isn't he? Oh, good. B4 found the reputation amounts. So for the Paths of Valor, it's 1,500 to get to Stalwart, and then, yeah, you could just read the numbers. My brain said stop. But I do want to look at my reputation panel real quick. Paths of Valor, so I'm at 1,500 out of 4,500, so I have a little way to go. Oh, and before I was asking about clunky, you know, you're talking frame rate or something else. Yeah, because our frame rates, we're getting like 100 frame rates per second while we're sitting in town, and it doesn't drop that much when we're running around. So, yeah. But I will let you guys continue that conversation if you wish. because I am going to sign off and I'm going to turn the reins over to B4, who will be doing plugin development on his show Plugin Along. We are here every Tuesday. I start at 11:30 a.m. Eastern time, Eastern U.S. time, and then I go for about 2 to 2.5 hours. And then after that comes B4 for another 2 to 2.5 hours. So yes, thank you all for coming along and joining me out here in our little adventures in Lotro. Oh, and don't forget, Extra Life is happening still. I'll put a little thingy here, and B4 can continue the explanation on his stream. But basically, the TLDR is donate to Extra Life via the SSG team, and you can then get goodies that you can use in the game, like cosmetic pets, housing items, and so forth. So thanks for all the well wishes, everybody. I'm sure it'll get better. My head will get better in short time, I'm sure. I'm feeling better already, actually, as it turns out. So thank you, everybody, for that. Yeah, all right. Have a fantastic week. I will see you next Tuesday. He'll see you in just a moment. And yeah, have a great rest of your day and stay connected to that Hobbit side of your heart. All right, bye, everybody.